So we start with extensive research. Okay, that may seem obvious at first, but what we're talking about here, at least for us, which is really important, was learning as much about Africa as we possibly could, and its histories, and its cultures, and its peoples. And we cast our net really wide. We didn't just read scholarly books and papers on languages and orthographies, but also general history books, personal memoirs written by Africans, journalistic accounts of historical events, and current market reports in economics media. We knew it was really important to do more than just put some fonts out there and hope people would use them, but rather to respectfully create something that the language communities are actually interested in using, something that they accept. And go ahead.
So, arano nunko be atti wadde konko witto kono non wo si nanama witto yimbe ben sikka ko hunde newinde ma hunde fandunde be wadi kono witto ngo be wadi ngom be lugginno fota no be tugorali tun e ko anda kon ko wowa kon be yawno be widi tarikha africain be witti kadi e pine afrique den be jangi ko yimbe windata windube fi hore mudum windi fi afrique be witti dum non fo fi harasi be moƴƴini awlitol harangol on no henani hingol wela yimbe haala be ben dengal hutorangal ngol awlitol don maadu yimbe haala be ben ngal dengal don.
So while we're doing our research, we're developing a first draft of the complement. And that's when we begin to establish contacts to experts and members of the language community. And we do this after the first draft because we found it was wise to have something in hand at first when we introduce ourselves. It shows them that we're serious and that we've learned quite a lot already, and also that we know what we're doing when it comes to type design. And it gives us something to engage them with, to talk about and to get feedback on. And we also do it because we found it to be the most respectful and economic use of their time, because we're very grateful for the time that they give us.
Kambe si be fuddi gollude hore awlitol fi dengal ko be watta taw be wada yahande aranere nden e nder witto ko be wadata kon kambe tigi be yahay be moƴƴina awlitol aranongol hara fi si be yewtidi e yimbe haala be ngal dengal lon no wodi ko be webitana ben non hara no wodi ko be yewtata e hore mudum hara ona argol tun inda meden faala on gollande do awlitol e moƴƴinande on do bindol ko be moƴƴini awlitol aranongol be arda be yide on tigi non be yewtida e ben non si ben non no wodi no wodi ko yiltana be hore dum non be ni wonde ma dum non no holli teddungal no holli wonde ma miijo no yawde e golle de be woni wadde den wona yawgol to moƴƴina goddum ara jonna yimbe ben.
When we started working on newer scripts like ADLaM, we quickly recognized that their newness limited our ability to fully understand how the scripts were used. While there are existing printed documents in these scripts, they do not always represent contemporary usage, nor do they inform us of how the fonts will function. We thought that the best way to understand this was to provide a way for people to actually use the writing system, and that way was by making mobile apps. This also allows us to contribute something back to the language communities that invested their time and energy to assist us.
Wano fi bindi ɓurɗi ɗin e hesudude wano bindi ADLaM ɗin ɓar haray ɓe ala ɓe humpitaki fota ko honno ɗi wona e hutorede nder aduna o ko ɓe waɗi taw ɓe moƴƴini aalaji ɓe moƴƴini tappirde ko ɗoni windirde ɓe moƴƴini ɗi application ji ɗi mi hooli fi muɗum fi yoɓe andu ko honno yimɓe ɓe woni e hutorde bindi ɗin awliti wona ɗi moƴƴinede ɓe anda no ɓe ƴettitira golle maɓɓe ɗen.
So I'll give you a brief look at the scripts in the Kigelia family. This is the full complement of the VAI syllabary, still in use in parts of Liberia and Sierra Leone.
So be hollude do noneji bindi Afrique do tawadi e ko be moƴƴini kon ɗiɗo ko vayni hutortonedi leydi wiyeteni Liberia.
This is a text set in the Osmania complement. Osmania is a Somali writing system which is not really in daily use anymore, but it's still valuable for recording and restoring to digital form manuscripts and various original artifacts that are important to preserving Somali culture and history.
Dido ko bindi Somali be ben woni be ben funnange Afrique to fi kala di alaka hutorode moƴƴa joni be moƴƴini awliti din fi no maninire pine ben e tariha mabbe.
Here's part of the Latin complement, which contains the International Phonetics Alphabet and a full African reference alphabet.
Be moƴƴini kadi ɗiɗo awliti di mari hutortedi nder Afrique tugorɗi bindi latin ni.
The design of Kigalia's Arabic complement has distinctly sub-Saharan Sahelian forms, and Kigalia is the first type family that provides users with broad typographic support in the Arabic script for a range of African languages across most of the continent.
Be moƴƴini kadi ɗi awliti arabu tugiɗe arabu ɗo wiyeteɗi ajami hutorteɗi Afrique kono ɓar kamɓe ɓe moƴƴini ɗo ɓe geri ha ɓe wakkili ha ɓe nandindiniɗi e awliti wona ɗin hutorede Afrique ɗo no yimɓe ɓe windirta noon nder Afrique ɗo ɓe wi kadi ko kamɓe atti moƴƴinde awliti ajami ka tawata hara hiɗi mofti kala ko hattojina e muɗum fi windugol ɗen nde Afrique ɗen wonɗe hutorde ɗen ɗiɗo.
This is a text set in the Tifinagh complement. Kigalia has built-in code and subsets of alternate glyphs to accommodate most of the different variants and dialects of Amazic and Tuareg. We were also commissioned by Google after designing this to do a redesign of their Nodo Tifinagh, which it needed, and we were able to improve it in form and function considerably.
So be golli hore di bindi wetedi do Tifinagh kadi ɗiɗo ko bindi Tuareg ɓe ɓen e bindi Berber ɓe ɓen ɓarɓe moƴƴini ɗiɗo ɗum woni sabu kadi ha Google landade ɓe yo ɓe gollito e hoore awliti Tifinagh di Google marno ka wiyeteɗi ka noto maɓɓe ɓe golliti e hoore ɗin noon kadi.
This is a look at the Ge'ez complement, which is, along with Tifinagh, one of the oldest writing systems that we've worked on. After creating the Ge'ez complement for Kigalia, we were also commissioned by Google to do an expansion of their Nodo Ethiopic fonts to include the glyphs for the Gurage community. Then we were commissioned by Google to create the Ge'ez complement of Google Sans, which is their branding font.
So ɗiɗo kadi bindi ko bindi jes ɗiɗo bindi hiwtorte Ethiopia ɓe moƴƴini ɗi awliti ɗo battane moƴƴingol ɗi awliti ɗo Google inni ɓe kadi yo ɓe moƴƴin awliti kesi ɗi fi heedintingol awliti ɗi ɓe jogino ton e hoore ɗum kadi ɓe moƴƴina awliti ñeñaɗi ko hutore ɗi bindi ɗo e ɗen ɗe wolte ɗen Ethiopia.
We did a Nko complement for Kigalia, and later we were also commissioned to redesign the Nko complement in Microsoft's Ibrima type family, which is their UI font. The original Ibrima was lacking in proper proportions and a certain amount of grace, so we were glad to be able to improve it quite a bit.
Be golli hore unko on kadi ɗi ko bindi wonadi hutorede ɗi maninkaɓe ɓen hutorta ɓarɓe moƴƴini ɗi awliti ɗo e Microsoft landi ɓe heeɗintingol awliti ɗi ɓe wonno ɗin hutorde ka Windows maɓɓe ɓe yahi ɓe golli e hoore ɗin noon kadi.
The Nko script is an ongoing project for us, and this shows a collaboration that we're involved in right now. We're helping to create a font and keyboard for an international phonetics alphabet for the Nko script.
Wo hiɓe heɓɓi kadi moƴƴingol tappirgal yowingal bindi phonetique ji ɗin hara ko fi Nko.
Also a recent project that we're working on right now, we're helping a community in Angola and the Democratic Republic of Congo to make the Mandombe script viable for digital setting with a font and keyboard. We're also acting as liaisons between this community and the Unicode Standard Consortium so that the script will eventually be encoded and available for use on all digital devices.
So hibe wallitare leñol go kadi no Angola do e ngol tawe kadi Congo.
This man is an extraordinary writer who has written several books in French and has made remarkable progress in Europe. So he's well respected in the West, so I think we should also appreciate our own. I would also recognize Professor Mohamed Diallo, please, who is a professor of philosophy at Gaston Berger University in Senegal. Ambassador Yola is with us. Ambassador Yola is the Guinean representative, General Consul of Guinea in the Gambia. I would like to also recognize our distinguished representative from Côte d'Ivoire, Son Excellence, s'il vous plaît, levez-vous. He is the one who accompanies the Ivorian delegation here in the Gambia. And I would like to, recognize all the other countries here. We have Mali, Senegal, Guinea-Conakry, and I wouldn't forget few other people. We mentioned Bokar Cham. Where's Bokar Cham from Boston? Thank you very much. Bokar Cham is one of those teaching ADLaM in Boston, and I learned from him that even ADLaM, a lot of other fuller cultural languages are being taught in very respected universities in the United States. I won't finish without recognizing the creators of ADLaM, Ibrahim and Abdullah Bari, who are my cousins, because I'm Bari, they are Bari. We are all from Timbo, most certainly. And welcome all the other delegates. We have our delegates from Liberia here too. The Mr. Aliu Badara Jallo, who is Dental Gorko Susani, Mr. Usman Jallo of Liberia, who is the Chief Coordinator of Media Fulbe International. They have all joined us here, and we are contented. I also recognize those who have accompanied the Lord Mayor of Banjul, KMC, here. By the way, the Lord Mayor is a fuller now. He's accepted, I'm sure. I'm sure it's good to have the opportunity to confirm that. You see, they said for every successful and extraordinary man has beside him, and I'm sure Salimatu will agree, not behind him, a wonderful wife, a wonderful woman. So we are very happy that you've joined us. Apart from the welcome statement, I just want to briefly emphasize on a point or two, because this is an opportunity. Language is the vehicle of our culture. And being somebody who has studied literature and languages, I can ascertain here that the best tool the colonizer have used to take out our identity is by using language. This is why the French use assimilation to change the concept of our thinking, of our practices, and eventually made us lose our identity. Many of those who are part of the Francophone countries have eventually lost a large chunk of their identity in the process because of the language. Through language, you infuse culture. Those who are doing Anglophones, I'm sure when you read Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe, it said that language that was brought through education, Western education, was a destabilizer of our cultures. So we were completely destabilized. So before colonialism, during colonialism, even after colonialism, because of the lack of effort of many of our country, of our leaders, we remain colonized mentally, because we still think like the West. We behave like the West. We eat like the West. And that, unfortunately, is a testimony that we have lost everything. So certainly, if language is our culture, if language is the vehicle of culture, to retrieve back your culture, you must use language to do that. Somebody told me, no, we are using Roman letters to write our languages. I said, no, that's not enough. Let's use an identity that is very unique to us and then write our language. So we thank very much our initiators or creators of ADLaM for this. So let me just quickly say that in French so that we will not spend too much time here. Je commence par remercier tout d'abord tous les invités ici qui viennent surtout des pays francophones. Pour nous, c'est toute une fierté de vous recevoir ici. Et je sais que parmi vous, vous êtes parfois un peu perdus parce que nous parlons plus l'anglais et le poulard. Mais vous êtes des chanceux si vous parlez un peu le poulard. Et ça, c'est pour notre chers invités de la Côte d'Ivoire. Ce que je voulais dire, ayant déjà reconnu des personnalités ici, c'est que comme la langue, c'est le véhicule de la culture, à mon avis, moi, je pense que pour retrouver notre culture, que nous avons perdue à cause de la perte de notre langue, en fait, quand j'ai dit la perte de notre langue, c'est parce qu'on était obligé pendant la colonisation de lire et d'écrire en français, en anglais et en portugais. À cause de cela, nous ne pouvons rien faire au-delà de ça dans notre culture. Nous ne pouvons qu'utiliser la langue de l'étranger pour écrire ce qui nous concerne. Et je pense qu'aujourd'hui, nous sommes témoins du travail extraordinaire fait par nos frères, les deux Barry. Et grâce à cela, nous commençons maintenant à avoir des caractères uniques et définis qui nous est très cher. Avec quoi donc nous pouvons écrire dans nos langues, le poulard, et nous pouvons aussi faire des recherches. C'est extraordinaire l'avancée que nous avons vue dans cette présentation. Donc, moi, c'est une fierté pour moi d'être là, d'assister à cette conférence, et j'espère que vous allez tous en bénéficier aussi. Comme on a eu des poulard, et anglais et français, ko weltana goltawo, hoɓɓe ɓe heɓuɗen ɗo ɓen iwɓe leyɗe ɗen fof hande ɗen jogii iwɓe Mali, iwɓe Guinée, iwɓe Côte d'Ivoire e kadi en yii iwɓe Libéria tawti en hande ɓen ko addunoɓe ko goɗɗum go kono e weltanikeɓe ko ɓe ari ɓe tawi en ɗo hande ko weltade molanade ene fuɗɗi weltanade taw maire on Ben Souda Talib Ben Souda mo anduɗon hande on hande ɓeygu makko ko pullo Salimatu Diallo min toñaymo mi inna o wonti pullo jooɗi yiwɗo mo o hande inna yewta mo e pular hakke ko rawni awa mi weltanike mo ɓayri o tawti haajon o holli haajon ko haaju men mi weltanike kadi hoɓɓe ɓe noddi ɗo ɓen fof eɗen heeɓi ɗo ceerno mon e Nembo e mo andamo hande tigi tigi ko ɓayri o janngani la littérature francophone minen janngunoɓe fi defte ɗe min mi anduno oɗo joni waɗi duuɓi 15 ñande wo ñande minen humpa ko hombone somi yiyaymo komi yimo ɗo mi welti fi moƴƴa noon chercheur je français ɓe chercheur ɓe français jannguɓe defte boyi ala ɓe teddina ɓuri oɗo si o jooɗi ko yewti yewtere maɓɓe nen ɓe weltoto taw ko seeɗa eɗen jogii ɗo hoɓɓe ɓe anndu ɗon eɓe teddi awa si ɓeeɗo tawti en holli wondema ko ɓe frère ɓe men yette bariɓe ɗo windi kon no nafa no moƴƴi e ɓeerole kamɓe hannde gonga maɓɓe hay français ɓe ɓuraaɓe wawde windude français si ɓe weltanike ko heɓuɗen ɗo ko awa holli enen kadi tigi tigi on tawi majju eɗen anndi ko haala kan porte on utilise no ari Afrique ha wayli hakkilde men ɗen ko ɗum adduno négritude ko ɗum adduno Léopold Sédar Senghor e Aimé Césaire en haɓi inni wondema ɓayri haala kan joni wontino haala ka annduɗa en perdi ka ko wawde windude kon windiren ɗum ɗon awa pour hettugol awa culture ji men ɗin kono hande si Allah walli en heeɓi hande ADLaM e wawi windude janggen e ADLaM woni kadi ko ɗon wawaten nande pular ngal winden e pular waɗen taskoɗen piiji e pular winden ɗi e nder defte waɗen gande men ɗen ɗum ɗon naɓe sakite ha Amérique ha partout himɓe go jangga haray ko weltare molanade ko ɗum weltini men menen kadi min weltanike on fof wata ɗum ɗo haaɗuɗo hande ɗum ɗo e woni fuɗɗode molanade ko ɓurten ñiiɓinde ɗe kuuɗe weltanoɗen e honno wiyete mak kañum e neel ɓe annduɗon windi wakkilike ha waɗi hande kala technologie memaɗo wo tawa e pular ngal no ɗum ADLaM no nder ton ko ɗum heɓuno komi haala mi weltano on fop yo Allah waɗu barke e golle ko immiɗen fi mum kon yo Allah ñiiɓi golle ɗen yo Allah waɗu kadi janggoɓeɓen fop janden e nafa ɓe assalamu aleykum wa rahmatullahi taala wa barakatuh
weltanama ceerno docteur Oumarou Bari on sannama e gollal ngal yooɗi nam haray en arta e darugol ko homɓe kadi hikkotoɗo.
Now we are inviting our Honorable Mayor on stage to deliver a speech. And I ko kellam mo ko Mayor KMC on or Alakado State.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. My name is Talib Ahmed Bensouda, Lord Mayor of the Kanifing Municipality.
Lord Mayor mayor on ka Kanifing do Kanifing woni tunde wonde ndone.
This is my beautiful wife Salimatu Jallo. For the past 3 weeks, I have been to many fuller programs to the Fulbe Africa, Capital Pular, and now I am here. I must say, I do not only love my wife, but I now love the fuller culture. Fulbe Africa program, or not dama ka program Capital Pulagu, or hande kada not dama do. Musedi wandema nebata harana mbenguma kutungo yidi kona hepula ngalo yidi joni. I must greet the president of ADLaM in Gambia, Mr. Momoduba. Woy musalmi na Momoduba wando president ADLaM Gambido. I must greet also our guests, Mr. Mark Jallo and Mr. Patel. Woy musalmi de hope beng be window be ADLaM monka technology. And of course Dr. Barry, who's not only my friend but my French teacher in high school. Wo eminkadi wo ko min jannu no mo français ko jangayno ka duma high school wo minkadi mo salminammi. My French is still not good. Me wakkilo do salla jabi. But with all seriousness, language is the building blocks of any society. Wo tigi tigi on hala ko dum don woni dajere kala leñol daro tongo. It is a way we can store our history, our culture, our heritage. Woko dun don ligorteng fi winne fi tarihaji monding halen kadi fi kude mendeng e waden tasko den piji fi ko andeten e der leñol mengol. And as Mr. Barry said, wo wono mi wiiri non da joni, the French through assimilation destroyed this culture. Wo français be wadi assimilation be wadi halaji mabbe din wadi ridun don fere fi changegol culture ji Afrique din. But the English also, through divide and rule, equally destroyed this culture. Wo angle ben kadi be wadi senda lamina ko dum woni sendita himbe ben wada hukkindirabe fi yo laamu moƴƴa. So this is a very important step in regaining our culture and heritage. Language is the transference of meaning. If you translate one's language, a lot of meaning is lost. So we must thank the Barry brothers for creating this language. I learned about this language 2 weeks ago. And I did a little reading. And it says what the language stands for is to stop the vanishing of the people, to ensure the people's culture and way of life is preserved. I am so inspired that I must announce today that the Kanifing Municipal Council is currently building the biggest library in the Gambia. Kanifing Municipal Council ko lami do no darnude biro deftere mola nande der leydi nindo. And I pledge that when it is done, we will create an ADLaM section. Inni wondema si on bibliothèque don Paris o fecca don nokkure ka noddirta dum don ko ADLaM tun jangete do. I thank you so much for inviting me today. And I will be with you in your journey to develop the ADLaM language.
Lord Mayor.
Hande me wawata ronkude jonnude Ben Talib Bensouda certificate on to men not day noyete. Somebody supposed to give it to you. Modi Ibrahima. Come be not the
Cherno Monene Boy.
Cherno Monene Mbo. Professor Cherno Monene Mbo Senega.
awa o certificat do no inni wandema association winne jangi ADLaM certifié wandema Talib Ahmed Ben Souda o ari o tawama e o conférence internationale jetatabo wada do nder Banjulu do wada do e nder di dadji hanking e hande ka wete Pencami Hall mi weltanike mo ko tawti men do o wadi o programme ko dum woni firongo bismillah. hande kadi weltanoden Lord Mayor ballal ngal kadi no tom mi sikki dum mi acce haaloɓen haalo walliti en ɗo moƴƴa fi ADLaM on ɗum ɗon haalo yo ɓen wirtoya ɗum ɗon e men so Allah jaɓi.
Thank you, Lord Mayor. From this point, we move on to call on the ambassador of the Guinean representative in this country, Mr. Honorable Euler. You are highly invited on the podium. Yeah.
Awa haraybe tottude kongol kambe wonambe leydi laagine ndi ndo ɗum woni ambassadeur maɓɓe on haray ko ɓeɗo wonani ɗo guinéen ɓe ɓen haray ɗon andi ko ɗum wonani ɓe ɗo guinéen ɓe ɗo nder ga hiɓe ga awa ko omboni ko ɓe wiyete monsieur Nabi Yula. Bismillah.
Thank you so much. My name is Nabi Ibrahim Yula. I'm the General Consul, rank of Embassy, Republic of Guinea in Gambia. Sorry, I rely my speech in French because I have poor, very, very poor English. Tout d'abord, je reviens sur les pas de Dr. Barry Kerno.
First of all, I'm coming back to the steps of Mr. Barry.
Et le grand maire de Kanifi, M. Ben Souda,
and the Lord Mayor of Kanifi,
pour dire que j'ai pas beaucoup de choses à dire.
To say that I will not have much to say.
Puisque quand les dévanciers ont été très élogieux, très éloquents, je me trouve quelque peu limité dans mon intervention.
When the predecessors are very, very eloquent, so I will not be able now to say more than them or better than them.
Ceci dit, au nom des autorités de la transition, notamment le colonel président Mamadi Doumbouya, que je représente ici.
In the name of His Excellency Mamadou Doumbouya, whom I am representing here,
je tiens à remercier tout d'abord les organisateurs.
I am here to thank the organizers.
Je tiens à remercier les éminents professeurs, les deux Américains qui sont venus des États-Unis.
I thank the professors who are from US.
Je remercie tous les invités.
I thank all the invitees.
Je reconnais également la présence du grand écrivain, Kerno Monenembo.
I recognize the presence of Professor Kerno Monenembo,
qui n'est plus à présenter,
who is known by everybody.
Je dirais tout simplement que le seul moyen, le principal moyen d'expression des hommes entre eux, c'est le langage.
I would say that the main means for people to communicate is the language.
Les traditions, les cultures, les identités des peuples se reconnaissent par leur langage.
The identity, the culture of people is known through their language.
Comme dirait l'autre, l'importance d'un langage, l'importance d'une langue est comme ce qu'est la tête pour le cerveau.
The importance of a language is above all.
Je reprends le proverbe, est-ce que tu l'as bien traduit? L'importance d'une langue est comme ce qu'est la tête pour le cerveau.
The importance of a language is like the head for the brain.
Donc je remercie très sincèrement la présence des officiels venus de la Côte d'Ivoire.
So I recognize the presence of the